That is where we are going to start, Rob. Great article today on Bleacher Report by Chris Haynes. He talked to Kevin Durant after the Nets were bludgeoned last night by the Sacramento Kings. And several things stood out to me about this, Rob. KD opened up. He talked about why he asked to be traded over the summer. And, Rob, he said it was about basically called out Steve Nash. He said they didn't practice hard enough. He said they didn't do he wanted to work on closeouts. He said he wanted to work on shell drills, a defensive drill. He said he wanted somebody to hold him accountable. He didn't mention Nash in that regard, but he did say, go ask Steve. I want to practice more. So he called out Nash on all of that. And that's cool. I'm glad he shared his thoughts. If you're Steve Nash, I don't know why in the world you wouldn't have been doing that stuff. Secondly, Rob, he talked about, he's very happy, which I'm glad to see. I'm genuinely happy for KD. He looks happier. You look at him in press conferences.
Remember we talked about that. Even when he was playing, I remember a couple games they won and came back, and he was excited. Like he really was. I remember he high-fived every player on the team.
He talked about, I mean, it was very clear in this article. He's happy. It's strange, Rob. He seems happier than when he was in Golden State winning championships. And so he hasn't always seemed like the happiest player during his career. So that's good to see that he's enjoying himself. And a guy that is talked about, I just want to, get better every day. He's talked about that being his goal more so than rings and all that stuff. So I can see how him taking the challenge of trying to beat teams without Kyrie or even when Kyrie's there. I can see him enjoying that. Thirdly, Rob, he talked about being a leader and the perception that he's not a leader. And he said, well, I'm not a leader because I didn't, tell Kyrie to go get vaccinated and all that stuff, which I get. But I tell you this, Rob, and I don't think KD's much of a leader. And that's fine. Everybody's not that.
Some people are leaders by example. Everybody,
right, and he is certainly a leader by example.
Just because you're a great player, Chris, we talk about it all the time, doesn't mean that you're going to rally the troops. Some people that's not. And then there are guys who can't play a lick, who are more apt to rally. You know what I mean? Rally other people.
If your star's not that guy, you need somebody else that'll be like that. But then, Rob, I'll tell you what a leader doesn't do. I mean, he called out these other players. Now, I don't think he meant it disrespectfully. Here's the exact quote. Look at our starting lineup. Edmund Sumner, Royce O'Neal, Joe Harris, Claxton, and me. It's not disrespect, but what are you expecting from that group? You expect us to win because I'm out there. So if you're watching from that lens, you're expecting us to play well because number 7 is out there. I don't like that, Rob. I mean, again, I don't think he meant to disrespect those cats, and they're a bunch of role players, some of them just kind of making their way through the league. So I don't think they're going to say anything. What can they do? But I don't think that's cool.
Yeah, I don't think he meant it that way. I really don't. It's just like, let's be real with what the lineup is and who we don't have and what we're trying to do, and people are expecting us to win every night and expect me to be able to. This is the NBA, Chris, and you know this. Ask LeBron.
Did LeBron ever say that?
No. I'm not saying that. I'm just talking about
I get what you're
trying
saying.
to win.
I'm just
right.
saying.
I know what you're saying too.
It.
But I don't think it's not true. But I hear you. There's a thing called tact.
Yes,
and that's all. And that's all you're talking about is. You don't even have to go to those extents to name people out and just say, dude, we're doing the best we can with what we have. We got 2 stars who are not here. Other guys are trying to play above their skis, right, Chris? Like other guys are trying. And some nights it clicks, some nights it doesn't. And it could have been a nicer way of saying it than the way that he said it.
It's deeper than
But
that.
I don't think –
Because I don't hear Luka Doncic saying – I'm going to war with Spencer Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith, Reggie Bullock, and Dwight Powell.
Yeah, he says it when they get knocked out in the first round. He says it, but that's enough.
First of all, they went to the conference finals last year?
I'm just kidding.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, like, I don't need an excuse from a superstar. I don't hear Luka making excuses. I didn't hear LeBron when he had that crew in Cleveland before he went to Miami, making those excuses.
No,
and
he
so
bailed.
I didn't like that. Well, but he gave it a try, and he believed when he was there. And then this was the last thing. He talked about his legacy, Rob. And, everybody talks about KD's legacy. He said all that extra stuff like you got to win before you retire and make sure your legacy is straight. That's bleep to me. My legacy is predicated on what Cam Thomas is learning from me and what he'll take away to help him by the time he's in his 10th year. That's my legacy. What I did with Andre Robertson, the confidence I helped him build when he was in the league, that's my legacy. Being able to play with Russell Westbrook, Steph Curry, and Kyrie and still be me, yeah, that's my legacy. That's who I am. That's what I bring to the game. Last thing, I can play with anybody, anywhere, at any time, and I'm going to bring it every day. That should be my legacy. I like the end of it because I've always said that, right? And I think you have too.
He can play with anybody.
Right. He has the most, like, of all the superstars in the league, at least right now, it seems like he's the one you could drop anywhere.
Because
he doesn't dominate the ball. He's catch and shoot. Like, you can put him anywhere and he's going to do his thing. He's not going to he can fit. He fit right in Golden State. LeBron wouldn't have fit. Now, they would have been great and won, but everything would have changed, right. Whereas KD, you could drop in there.
Just like the Westbrook. Like Westbrook didn't really
great
fit.
Great point. He's a hard fit.
He's a hard fit, and we knew it from jump, and it's just a fact.
And he's a hard fit in a lot of places. Harden can be a hard fit. But here's what I didn't like, though. My legacy is predicated on what Cam Thomas is learning from me, what I did for Andre Robertson. Rob, Kevin Durant is obviously an all-time great player, a Hall of Famer, easy. What he said about Cam Thomas and Andre Robertson, that's the legacy of a Udonis Haslem. That's the legacy of a locker room guy. Sam Mitchell, who I'm friends with, Sam, I don't remember, and this is not to disrespect his career because he had a nice, long career. But I don't remember what anything Sam did on the court. But every time I see him, I think about what KD said about, or KG, Kevin Garnett, said about Sam Mitchell. When I was a rookie in Minnesota, Sam Mitchell took me under his wing and taught me the league. That's Sam Mitchell's legacy to me. When I see him, that's what I think of. That's a great legacy for a role player. I don't hear many people with KD's ability talking about that. I hear Jordan, Magic, LeBron, Bird, Isaiah, Kobe, Shaq. They talked about rings. And I want to be the best player ever. So I think this is one of two things. If it's really just that's how KD is and feels, that may be why he hasn't led a team to a championship. Or it may be a cop-out, and I don't want you to judge because I haven't led a team to a championship. I've been the best player, but I haven't led my own team. I don't want to be judged by that. So I'm saying judge me by how I developed youngest. I mean, that's nice. That's good. But the players on his level aren't judged by that.
Yeah, I think you're taking it too literal and maybe a little too harsh.
I'm just taking what he's saying.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with it. I think your career, you don't have to promote it. He already won 2 championships. He's won 2 finals. And he doesn't have to put to the point oh my God, yeah, I need to lead the Nets to a championship. I don't think you need to say that. I think that's something that he aspires to, but he's not the kind of guy who's going to articulate it because I don't remember him really articulating that I'm going to Golden State to win championships. I mean, it was obvious what he was trying to do, but I don't know him as a guy who articulates that or talks about it. He's a different breed, Chris. He's very sensitive. He's very he worries about what people say about him, but I don't think that's like having an impact on other people is a bad thing.
No, it's good, but I want more from my guy with that type of talent.
What do you want him to say if that's not in him is what I'm asking.
No, I'm saying I think that's his legacy. I don't know what's in him. I'm going from what he's saying.
Yeah.
I'm going from what he's saying.
Yeah,
I'm saying I don't look at a player of that caliber and say your legacy is that you were nice and worked with some of the guys after practice who were role players. I mean, that's good. It's great that you did it. But we're looking at you as this brother led teams to championships. He was that great. And the guys I've mentioned that were on his level, that's what they talked about. I haven't seen one say, yeah, I want my legacy to be that I made Judge Bushler a better player. You know, I made Jack Haley a better player. I made Anderson Varejao a better player. You know, so that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I'm not going to kill him. I think that he's done enough on his own in his career. I think it speaks for itself. So maybe he was just trying to be cerebral, Chris, and talk about stuff that is important to him. Everybody's different. You know, you could have a career and still have an impact with other people. Maybe the big thing, Chris, would be normally you don't talk about it. Do you know what I mean? Like you just do it. So maybe just hearing it sounds weird. Maybe that's what it is.